What you're seeing right now represents the closure of the Silicon Valley Bank in March 2023. This event has been signalled through Ann Tucker, who's well known on YouTube, and could be symbolic of coming changes in the financial and global economy. This second chart is representative of the origins of Silicon Valley Bank in Santa Clara, California, US. This chart is dated 17 October 1983. The second chart is dated 10 March 2023. Here are the two charts together. One on the left side, 17 October 1983, is timed for 12 noon. The second one on the right, 10 March 2023, is timed for 9 a.m. Both are representative times that still capture the essence of the factors in this symbolic event, which is expected to have relevance to the coming era. Because banking, finance and investments, those factors, including the relevance of cardinal energy in general, are relevant to this appraisal. Whatever happens to Saturn in 2025, 26, 27 in particular, and a lot does happen, will be relevant to finance, banking, investments. When Silicon Valley Bank was founded, Saturn was positioned at 5 degrees 36 of Scorpio. Saturn's midpoint with Pluto then was 2 degrees 24 Scorpio. In 2023 March, the nodes passed over 5.5 degrees of Taurus Scorpio, only days before the meltdown. When Silicon Valley Bank shut down, Saturn had just entered Pisces and was semi-sextile Pluto. This points to the relevance of the Saturn-Pluto cycle as being very important. We know that Saturn conjuncted Pluto in January 2020 at 22:45 Capricorn. So this was the cycle beginning. We know that that was the COVID era, and we know the consequences of the COVID era. Saturn and Pluto begin a near sextile in 2025. This doesn't become exact until the end of March 2026. Pluto, Uranus and Jupiter all have exact aspects to Saturn in 2025, January, April, June, August. But we know Neptune becomes very close, so their energies are synergizing. In 2026, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto and Jupiter all have exact aspects to Saturn, January, February, March, October. The pattern shifts in 2027. It is Jupiter alone that has exact aspects to Saturn, January, April, July, September, November. Jupiter is in Leo at that time until July. The September, November aspects are Jupiter in Virgo. Saturn remains in Aries through all those months of 2027. If something is afoot, perhaps we can look at the 5 degrees of fixed signs that could be relevant. Since Saturn was 5 degrees Scorpio 36 minutes at its foundation, and the nodes were 5 degrees 30 early in March 2023 when Silicon Valley Bank failed, we know that Pluto will get to that position soon. In fact, it's less than a year away. Pluto reaches 5 Aquarius end of March 2026. By early May 2026, Pluto is stationing at 5.5 Aquarius. The retrograde period holds 5 degrees right to the end of June 2026. But before all that, we can look to the present time, mid-2025. It is evident that there is an accumulation of patterns that might serve as a domino effect leading to early 2026. The combination of Saturn and Neptune has known to feature in past recessionary periods Saturn, due to enter Aries late in May 2025, will come close to Neptune over a period of months in Aries, as well as retrograding back into Pisces before their exact conjunction in February 2026. This combination is not positive for physical structures, not positive for banking, for finance, for investments, due to the dissolving effects of Neptune, which is destructuring, deconstructing, dissolving, and basically is a negative indicator. One issue with Neptune, though, is its tendency to be covert rather than overt. We can expect then that many effects will be accumulating like a hidden flood or leak, operating within the structure and not detectable until the tipping point. And this seems to be being structured over a period of months. And so what is evident on the surface is not likely to be the actual reality. There will be signs, however. The Jupiter-Saturn cycle is part of the mix, and Jupiter reaches a square in cardinal after prior squares to Saturn. There are 3 at this first quarter cycle. Jupiter in cardinal is also a pointer to the economic quality of the aspect. It seems like ballooning domestic costs will be a huge factor. Countries not able to actually afford to manage the demands of society in terms of infrastructure necessary for a functioning, healthy world. Globally, signs of weakened economy are likely to be becoming evident, even while denials are going on. These September eclipses cannot be underestimated. Their degree positions are highly relevant as we proceed from September into 2026. Every new and full moon after these eclipses builds towards events of late January 2026, whether by semi-square, sesquiquadrate, square or opposition. All those angles are involved in the range of lunar events starting from 7 October full moon to the 18 January new moon. Pluto trined with Uranus, both in air signs, talk of the digital communication system. Everything that is involved in the data processing in digitally based economies can be subject to the very changing, powerful effects of this combination of planets. Then we have Saturn, Neptune, a synergy. There's only one exact conjunction, but that synergy is enough. So there's 2 pairs, but in fact they form a quartet of 4 planetary energies that are all combining. In July and August 2025, this group of 4 planets start to dismantle the global economy. Here is Jan 20, 2026, New York, 12 noon, as a representative chart, just to show the accumulation of energy on that day. It's important to look at the degrees and how much they reflect all the building energy leading to this point. There is Venus, 4 degrees Aquarius, which will become 5 very quickly, just days after. So the 20th is not necessarily the biggest day, but the preceding new moon is on the 18th of January. And so there is a whole field that emits from that and will express on any of the days that follow, but particularly around the 20th. So I think the start of 2026 will deliver a significant jolt, but not the only one. As noted already, Pluto is approaching 5.5 degrees at this point and will take some months in 2026 to hold that position quite strongly. The 18 January 2026 new moon, nearly 29 Capricorn, it's 28:44. So here we are back to the end of Capricorn again. And of course Mars here in this chart, nearly 28 Capricorn. So all of the old structures that Pluto still has to fix are being represented, now that Pluto has left Capricorn, by some remnant Capricorn energies that are still in the system. The following new moon, February 2026, is an eclipse. a solar eclipse at nearly 29 Aquarius. So the late fixed energies seem to be involved in sorting out the late cardinal energies. And as we see, this chart has Uranus 27 Taurus. So that is linking into that February solar eclipse. The nearly 13 degrees lunar eclipse at the start of March 2026 will also resonate with the prior September eclipse of September 2025, which was 1523 Pisces, and 13 Virgo in March 2026 resonates with 28 Cardinal by Semioseski. So, yeah, you can see how it's all linked up, even into 2026. So the March total lunar eclipse will spread further into 2026. This is why the September eclipses of 2025 have such relevance to everything unfolding in terms of the old order, and particularly the old economic order.